opportunity to hit all things ability related. This is a wide open format. I'm glad to be here on Saturdays. We are here every Saturday from 1 o'clock until 3 Central, and are enjoying our conversations and the wonderful guests that we have coming in here. And I want to first of all, though, share a few notes and pieces with everybody to make sure you're aware of some of the things that are going on. So first of all, if you're a friend of the show, I've already heard me new to you. I'm glad you're here to find out more. Project DieHard is an amazing organization in Kentucky. It was started by a gentleman named Brian Gibson. He's a veteran himself. He is in the middle of an entirely brand new location. What is this location? What is Project DieHard? This particular place, which is the first one that's being opened, is in Macanda, Illinois. It's property and 10,000 square foot building. The entire concept of this is to have agents can go and get whatever they need, get whatever help they need, whatever. The big thing that we're combating here is veteran suicide. If you're not familiar with the problem that it is, then I guess I'll be the first to tell you then, because I remember, gosh, it was probably at least a decade ago. I remember going to see a documentary. It was an event that was going on here in Milwaukee, and it was called Project 22. It was these two guys. Both guys are veterans. On their motorcycles, going around the country, and finding all these locations where there are other veterans that were getting the help they needed. Basically, a lot of it was there was one location were in a program where they were learning how to sail. They were sailing on the rivers a day. Were losing their life to the entire idea was to help this whole thing and make it more well known so that more can be done to help that number go down, because that's incredible. I still, when I think about it, possible that there's that many this today is that not gone down. It's more than that. It is more than double. I don't understand how that's possible. Personally, I don't understand how that's possible. So that being I am grateful that organizations like Project DieHard do exist, and Project DieHard in McKinley. So they've got the grant there. The plan is that there is going to be rooms where veterans, as military personnel, are back. If they need a way, if one of the things that they help with is a place to stay for a while, they can do that. There will be places, the locations there where individuals can stay. There'll be two locations on the grounds there, individual and family that would be able to stay. So all the things. So what does it take to make that? Oh my gosh, all the permits, all the things to get the grounds ready, the building ready, to get all those pieces so that they actually can open and be able to start serving. It's been, I actually certain when he started this. That is a good. It's been well over a year. I'm sure I could say it's been at least a couple years in progress, in process, making this a reality. Doors open in 10 days. On November 28th, 2000, there's going to be a big event going on. There are going to be speakers coming in. There's going to be food. There's going to be a ton of people. If you are anywhere near McAnda, Illinois, or can get there any way, shape, or form, are you able to get there? If you can be there on that Tuesday to be part of this event, be there. It is going to be amazing. It's going to be, oh my gosh, what a milestone in this, in all of this that Brian's been putting together. They're opening. They've been helping veterans all along, but to actually get it to the point now where they can take it to that next level and take full advantage of this property that was donated, start serving veterans like this. What an amazing, exciting time. The futuristic goals here, obviously this is site. Can you imagine if there was a place like this in every state across the United States? A location where veterans can go, they can get what they need, they can do what they need, they can. Are you a resource? Maybe would be a good one for veterans, because that's out there too. They're always looking for volunteers. They're always looking for partnerships. All of us who are able to make a difference in some way, shape, or form, come to the table. So updates. We actually have a time set aside on Monday nights, 30 p.m. Central, where we do a live broadcast. It is Project DieHard Mission Monday. Find out what the latest happening now. There's always guests that are coming as well and sharing their piece of the world as well with us. And that is the place to be on Monday nights. So if you can be part of a live broadcast at some time, if you can be in the audience, you can actually even write in questions if you like during the broadcast. We can have them address questions as it's going. It is a great time to have that chance to connect with the founder and those that are supporting this organization on Monday. So that is something that I want to make sure is known and is an easy way for people to come in and be part of this amazing group. If I drilled enough about Project DieHard, I'm very impressed with what they've done. And I know Emily Goldmer's involved with a lot of this as well. So Emily, I would love it if you could come in and share your thoughts about Project DieHard and anything else about that you would like to share regarding that as well.
So Project DieHard, to sort of maybe answer it was started in 2018, the organization. Kurt and I met Brian exactly when the building and the building and the land but by the time Kurt and I met him, he already had that building and the land and was trying to get this going. So anyway, but I would encourage everybody to help support all of our veterans and Project DieHard. It's a very important topic that needs to be addressed or talked about, something done about it. We don't need the suicide numbers down. So I encourage everybody to observe whether that's volunteering somehow, either with Project DieHard or another veteran organization. Donating anything you'd like. And if anybody is either a veteran or is helping veterans and would like to be on the Mission Monday show that Sue was talking about, please contact us. We can get you on there. And volunteering, anything else. So it's been getting to know Brian and the team. Back to you, Sue.
Can you share a little bit about Freedom Train? I know we work a lot with the Disability Channel, and they have an amazing event coming up here with Freedom Train. I'm wondering if you could share some details.
So the Freedom Train, the Disability Channel is having a fundraiser on December.
So it'll be here really quick. Love to have the advantage of that opportunity as well, because that Disability Channel is such a worthwhile organization. All the things they're doing. I know you had mentioned the Invictus Games as well. So if you want to mention that, and then I know we've got a guest as well, but you want to just mention the Invictus Games and what you know about that as well that we can share out?
So, I mean, the Invictus Games in Germany, just like I think a few months ago, but is going to be in Canada, like Vancouver / Whistler, Canada, in February of, and the Disability Channel doing the media setup and some of that. So that's exciting. Forward to that too. So
yeah, excited for that, and here before we know it too. It's February of 2025, so it's about that make it maybe 14 from now.
Something like
that's gonna fly by. There's gonna be a lot of news between now and that would be another amazing opportunity to see. You like the Olympics? Think about that of the veteran community, and if you've never heard of it, go look it up. Invictus Games. Look it up. You'll be impressed more, and just it's out there on that is easy good. So I'm super excited that the Disability Channel is in that position that they'll be able to be that media. It's going to be exciting. I absolutely love it. I get all the energy from that, and I think it is going to be amazing. So I know we have a friend joining us today that I am excited to have come in and be able to join us, introduce himself, and share a little bit about who he is and what he's all farthest corner of the world. So I want to come on in here and hi and tell everybody who you are and got connected. Oh, and I know.
Yeah. I think you're on.
My name is Dio. My name is Dio. I joined Project DieHard as somebody who um, who cherish humanity so much, because every death of an individual of us, because we are all involved in mankind, to show our neighbor, be part of projects that are towards help other people, because we have a lot of people out there true and all that. So at Project it is at the centerpiece of our policy that we need to care for people, cherish, and of course make the society better for everybody. And I personally am a software engineer, and I'm someone who will help organizations manage their social media pages, help them with their graphic designs and all that. So at the moment, I'm considering going for my master's in the UK, University of Leicester. The school fees is £1,200, £800. So should anybody be interested in supporting my journey towards achieving that dream, I would definitely be interested in such a guest. So stay stay with us and do enjoy what we do at Project DieHard. And God bless you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, what an exciting journey that you are in and working towards a master's degree. So actually, can I ask, tell me a little bit more, what has brought you in that direction? What is it that you in your future?
Yeah, I studied English at the University of Lagos, as my degree. So I've been in the tech space for more than 5 years. I've been a software engineer for years now, and have worked on several projects. I co-founded Outquizzer. I co-founded Outquizzer, and we launched June 28th of this year. And so far, I've been able to amass, been able to amass about, or we've been able to, you know, we've been able to get like, we've been able to get close to like 20,000 users on our platform. I've haven't launched our product on the 28th of June this year. So far, we are pushing as a company. Our startup is, you just have to invest your money into it so that it grow. So we've not been paid salary yet, we've not been paid not even a dime, but we start up forward. So I'm working on is AI Predictify, AI Predictify. And what we are doing is like we are building AI machines that help humanity, because what happened in 2020, COVID-19, which happened in 2020, is something that we shouldn't take for granted again, because it's something that if we don't try to contain it, if we don't try to like work on technologies that could actually detect some diseases that would be faced in nature, we are all at risk. So as of that, I decided to start fetching data, a whole lot of data, that could really help the machine to be able to that humanity would face very soon. So your question is why? What's me to decide to study project management? Yeah, basically, because of some of these projects I'm working, I feel like it's very essential for me to delve deeply into the art of project management, because I want this project to be successful and to learn more. Or should I say, for me to know how to handle it very well, I need to go back to school, have my master's degree in project management, and that's what swept me into deciding to have a master's degree.
I actually work at a university, so here in Wisconsin. So I love hearing stories of how people get to where they are and what that next step is that they're looking. And furthering your education is always a good thing. Learning those all that it takes ahead. That's exciting.
Lesson, because we are all here temporarily. We are not here forever, so we need to spend time with our loved ones and trying to be humble with these people, because without them, life may not worth living. So that's what I feel.
Oh. And I wish everybody had that family, because that really, I love that. That's fantastic. Because we don't get forever with everybody around us. I wish we could,
Yeah, success is a distraction. You want to be successful and you tend to forget the loved ones. But as much as you're trying to carry people along, you need to carry family along. Because at the end of the day, you never can tell what's going to happen to you in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years. So I used to work with somebody in the office in 2021. That man used to come to the office, somebody to years ago, to tell me that the man alive, all right, is there. So, people die every day. We are not here forever, we are here forever. So we need to learn to love one another and try to help the way we could possibly do so. Yeah, that's my policy.
That is a great way to live. Oh, again, I wish everybody had that type of attitude and forward thinking and value in family, because actually we have a friend who brings family to surface. So it's the friends that become like family and really do. I mean, family means everything, but so do our close. This is who we surround ourselves with. Them.
Exactly. We need to love ourselves first and then to love other people. Be positive on the inside. We can perceive others as positive people. Because, for instance, now I knew Kurt some month ago. Actually, it's over a year, but we've not been very closer. We've not. I cannot even believe that he implied me to at least want to help me one way or with me forever. It's a gesture. Every minute, every happens to me is always documented. I document my experience, how I get here, how I get here, how I how I got here, rather how I got here. The journey was from me, before I could achieve all of. Actually, pass some words to my kids that are coming, because not everything should involve our list of. If not everything should involve money. Could actually worth so much. Like, in fact, money cannot buy some advices that we could give people, because it revolves around money. So there's some things I learned based that I tend to share with other people. that's, I believe that would actually help them in one way or the other. So yeah, that's how I live my life.
Fantastic. Because yeah, what's more valuable than time? We all have a amount of time available, right? How
Yeah,
you spend that's a currency too.
exactly. So words are rooted in time. All right, words are rooted in time. But words are like poetry. That they are immortal. Because for instance, Whitney Austin, now for instance, I can still listen to her music, some of the advices she has given out to people. Nobody, but then her words leave, but she's dead. So words are very powerful. So yeah, if you tend to experiences with them, it goes a long way.
I love that. Yeah, and that actually, I think that's a little bit of ability. There's also a radio show we do on Wednesdays, and a big piece of that is just in my mind. I think back to before we started doing disability related type of topics. I didn't think much about it. I didn't really have a basis for it. I didn't really that we're like wheelchair users, or we all have people we have disabilities of some sort. Really think about it, not so much. Something, right? We only can know things that we've actually personally experienced and dealt with, or what people have shared with us. As things have progressed here, with all the things that have happened over the last 10 years, and World of Abilities come to be, all these things that I've learned, I think I'm, the right word is lucky position, I guess, to be able to hopefully share that with others so that they can reduce their learning curve. You go so you can learn things, learn it fast, and now you got it. Thing here where us are going to be on this planet long enough to learn everything and make all the mistakes ourselves.
Exactly.
To learn from others too.
Yeah. They always say when you stop learning, you're dead. So
Yeah.
that's the truth of matter. We learn new things every day. And the most important thing is the point learning something that you don't intend to pass to somebody else. So ensure when you're spending your time, when you're making use of your time, ensure you learn things that maybe me personally, I always tell myself I try to learn things like that to somebody else. I do not learn something that will not be used by me, because I don't like learning things that I don't use. So whatever I need to learn to help somebody else, I cherish people so much. So yeah, that's I love that. I love what you just said. So, yeah, learning is very important, and that's one of the reasons why masters.
Excellent. And so, do you like being in the role of teacher a lot? Have you ever had that role?
Definitely. After my masters, I'll do my PhD. All right, I'll try so that I become a professor. So definitely, I will do that round. Yeah. So
yeah. So I appreciate what you're saying. So personally, I'll give you some background on just a couple of times. So I work at a university. I'm at Carroll University in Waukesha. It's a small private university. I love it there. Really, really wonderful people. And my role there, I'm the lab coordinator for biology. And my entire title is Life an animal facility coordinator, but the fun I get to do, I get to work with graduate students, so people that are working towards it. Right now, I have 33 in my crew.
Not really leaders, they are rulers. Leaders because they are corrupt in name. And this is because, you know, the home some of these people come from are homes that, you know, their parents did not really install, you know, right spirit. The good, their parents did not restore good spirit, you know, good attributes that could actually be used or be channeled towards the nature, because even in the house, a lot of are corrupt. They are teaching their kids how to be corrupt. So, you know, and that can only be correct when they get to school. So, what the question is, what are they in the school? What are they doing? What are they doing? These are the questions now. I would love to lecture in the university, maybe a visiting one, because I'm still a software person and would love to, you know, move all over the country. So I wouldn't want to be in one place. I would go all over. So yeah, that's just the idea.
I appreciate what you said there, because conversation with schoolers, with different people along the way. Say you're in high school and some kid's being a total jerk. You know what their home life is like. You don't know what their experience is like. And it might just be that you happen to be their outlet and they were taking out their frustrations on you. You know, sometimes or maybe they don't have food. Maybe we don't know what another person's experience really is.
Exactly.
I know my own, but outside of my house.
That's why we need to, you know, it's not shame to speak out. People always see it as something that is shameful. You are not willing to be a changed person, you know, but you need to be humble. You need to stay humble, because there are sometimes that no man is an island. John Donne, at the head of John Donne, who is a legend, uh, you know, says is in one of his works that no man. I think the title of the poem is even can be everything on their own. You know, you need people who are willing to help you. So if you have a product, we have institutions, we have DieHard there that you could actually reach out to people with respect to whatever you're going through. So it's very, you shouldn't be scared of what will people say. If you're there today, people want, the world doesn't stop. So you just have to care about what other people can care about. So that's how life works.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's a lot of truth.
But so I did that. We have Derek joining us. So like Derek's been on here a couple times before. So Derek, I think we were talking a lot schools and that kind of thing, weren't we?
Yeah, I heard that. No, so Emily, your message says show up now. And I've learned
No,
that Emily something I do.
It wasn't
Or anything.
it wasn't exactly worded that way, but
But it worked. Oh, well, Derek, we're so glad you're. I'm not sure if you and Dio have had a chance to. You want to share a little bit of who you are, what you do?
Yeah, so people joke around that I do everything. One of my is I'm a bookkeeper, so I do bookkeeping for business education. And so the other thing I do is a small private school in Arizona that I started, Preparatory Academy. And arrived was I was teaching in schools in Arizona and really wasn't teaching. I have lived not what I was teaching, just the fact that I was teaching doing paperwork. And so one day,
What?
Oh, jeez.
yeah. So you have a schedule, and I finally had that kid that wasn't doing anything finally asked me for help. So I'm gonna finally let's do paperwork. And the student actually said, "Why won't you let him help me?" And so conversation with the principal, she said, "Well, wrong person to say that to." So I opened up. The reason it's private is in Arizona. If you're a private, and actually a lot of states, if you're a private school, follow the rules. You don't have to follow the standard curriculum. You don't testing. So what we do is we're super small. We're about students, and we do that with intention, so we could pay attention to it. Even the private, we try to keep our prices low, so we're affordable, and we still get state funding. So it doesn't matter. We're still getting the same money. But like I have one student who wants to be a computer programmer. I'm like, all right, well, and he has a lot of anxiety. So I'm like, normally we even do like a speech class. Okay, that's gonna freak you out. I get that. Let's go through and do C++. And I let him know because I know a couple of programming languages, but I let him know, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna learn with you. And so just taking him through. The funny thing is he's not doing the computer work. So my specialty is math. And this how much he hates math and doesn't want to class that he always shows up for and always has his assignments in on time is math. And he'll do extra things. He's like, I found this on the internet. Can you walk me through it? I think it's kind of cool. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna let's do some math. And I tried, and I think one of the things that with the students is I connected to what they're gonna do in the future. Like what kind of work can you do with this? And I'm very honest with them. We'll go through things. I'm like, this is kind of useless. This was super in 801. This was super awesome when they discovered this. For this now. Let's the Excel component to it. So I'm like, all right, now you know in the workplace because no workplace is gonna run in Excel. And work on too is like resumes. We're constantly working on resumes, and and that's one of the things I do know when they're coming to a job. And so they'll say like Solver, which does a lot of graduating undergraduates, put that they know and talk to people. So they'll put resumes because employers have said we need people to each other, and they'll say the adults don't know how to talk to each other. So we're getting students that are ahead of the curve, fighting because what they're learning, they get it instead of the typical read this textbook. We'll get to it at some point. Like this is how this is how you're better than others in this. And they get excited. Really? And I'll show them. I'll show university here. I'm like, yeah, you're the same thing.
Makes such a you can have that end goal in mind.
Yeah.
It's not just you're learning a bunch of useless stuff that you can look up in a book. You're actually learning things that you need to know.
Yeah.
the future. This is real stuff. That's
Yeah.
I think what we our government in Africa, I think that's what they need to work on, because most things that you learn in Africa are things that you don't really need. But you must pass them. If you don't pass them, they will keep you in school for years. For instance, now I did when I was in university, I did some courses that I never liked them. In fact, I never liked them, but I was reading them because I wanted to pass them. Not like I loved them. I never. In fact, some of these courses were so frustrating to the extent that students used to feel like, why am I even here? Why am I even in school? In fact, when you want to get an admission in Africa, you will apply for this course. They will give you another course. That's just my experience. It's a master's and I had to go for my contribute my own best to the development of humanity. My
a big. It's a big thing. Sorry.
High schoolers. Uh, um, and we've actually got one of the so so each of these kids has a skill. It might not be an like what we teach in our curriculum. One of the things I noticed is a lot of these kids who are in these marginalized populations, like, have this survival that they have to go through because of the trauma they've endured. Makes them amazing sales because they know how to connect and how to survive and the right things to say. And so we'll sit down and like, have you ever thought about being a salesperson? And then and so I don't dissuade them if you need to. We're in Tucson, Arizona. Like the thought of doing physical labor when it's 120 to me sounds so. Giving them options of what they can do, because I've also learned from life, like I knew what I wanted to do. And then 20 years later, I'm like, oh, this is horrible. I don't want to do this. Like, being able to jump in and out as you wish, instead of being a job and saying, this is what I have to do forever. Like, let's give some of these kids some mobility. And we try to be very honest with them. We're, as far as the job market, like we're, you know, okay, if you want to do this job, this is what it's going to take, and this is what you're going to encounter. So like, we're very honest. We let them know, because I don't feel like as an educator, that's my job, is to present them the truth, not hide it.
That's amazing, because how do they find out? I remember when I was in high school, I'm like, okay, I got a lab. I like lab stuff. Well, okay, well, now what? Where does it? I have like medical things. That intrigues biology. Okay, there we go. Everyone that actually got to Madison and realized, oh my God, it's all the damn time. I like that part, but not that much. So I'm sweet, because you know what? Anyone around me that had that type of background, I didn't know who to ask. I was a shy kid. I don't know, but that I was glad I ended up on that path, though, because I was at Madison and I had all of these different classes I could choose from. They were all, because I wanted something on the level, what microscopic or whatever. I knew that's kind of a direction. I just knew where my head was direction, but I didn't know where it was going to take me. And I've gotten all amazing opportunities along the way. I've worked at the medical college, Wisconsin, actually doing T-cell cloning. I had that for like 5 years. It was so cool. And I think back on it, like, holy crap, we got to do some really freaking cool stuff that I had no idea I was, and that was 20 years ago that I did that. Since then, I've been able to be in these positions of like lab management type positions, where I actually get to do the exciting part of sharing my passion with students who are in college now, and trying to, you're saying, it's like, okay, you're a biology major. What does that mean? What? Because you're right. How do you know? You haven't been there yet. They don't know.
One of my first attempt at undergraduate I was an English major.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, you can have this job and this job and this job, and graduated. And I'm like, no, you can't get those jobs. Like, and it's one of the things I push now at the university level. Like, if you want to be, and I art history majors out there, don't do that. Okay. Client, and he's grand a year starting. Well, then they go out in the real world and they're like, well, really, it's more like 30, and you're going to work 80 hours a week, and you better hurry up and learn, or we're going to get rid of you, because we're just really going to keep on staff the people who are going to learn the programs that we need them to know. So, but there's still, hey, pencil and paper. This is the way I learned it, so it must be the way you learned. And I'm like,
We said for understanding all those, but you need to apply. There's flows going on.
I was just teaching a university stats class, and a lot of the students asked me, how come I taught it differently? And I'm like, because the computer does all this stuff, like formulas before class, because I put in the computer and the computer tells me all the answers. And so let's focus and have my students work it out once, so they get the concepts of going on. Then I don't want to see it anymore. Because one of the other things I learned as a teacher, if I assign an assignment,
Right.
I don't do 20 pages. When I first started, I assigned 20 pages. I had to read 20 pages. So now it's always one page. If you go on page, you're penalized. Because yeah, we work it through once. So mechanic computer. Let's go through computer programs to learn how to actually do it in real life. And again, like in 1801, it was super awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah, this is.
Oh, it's 2020. Oh, I'm behind.
Practical and being able to be that. Oh my gosh. I was saying earlier with like 33, this semester is 33 work study students. I get anywhere from 15 to 40. I don't know what I'm going to get every year, right? So it's usually they're amazing. Some of them I get to keep from their first until they graduate, and they work with me the entire time that I really had some amazing people come through. And there's one of my girls I brag on because she was one of the best I've ever had. She stood out always. And she's currently working on her PhD at Harvard. So she was just out of the world amazing and a heart of gold. I miss her dearly because she literally, whenever she could learn, she was a sponge. She would do everything she could learn, and I could trust her with anything. If I asked her to do a project of any, what, I did not have to worry because she had. It was one of those kind of, and they're there. There's a huge range of abilities that. There's a huge range of desire too, because she wanted it. She was one of those students that had that passion in her to do a lot. I also have students through that they're still wondering. They're in college because mom and dad said this is where you're supposed to be, and they're still trying to figure it out because round peg, square hole. They're trying to fit, and they're doing they're kind of doing the stuff and usually showing up for class. And it's like, it's a lesson you're learning. This is not where you should be. Then I don't know, honey. But so as much as I'm there, all that, there's also those moments where I'm like, I turn into lab mom, because some of them come and they're like, I'm having this problem with my landlord. I don't know what to do because I don't have water. Or whatever. You get to be that trusted person in their lives too, of just life in general, because they're not at home anymore. This is their first time out in the real world, whether they're in the dorms or if they're at that point now that they're actually renting a place themselves, whatever it is, actually shows up along the way. Now you're balancing all those out there to do your laundry. You got to figure out what you're having for breakfast. You got to figure out where your clean socks are. You might have a roommate. Oh no.
Yeah.
Get along with people.
So I always joke around when I hear someone say, in the real world, it's not going to be so easy. And I'm like, no, it's the opposite. The hardest part of your life is your undergrad, because you have to meet deadlines, be done a certain way. I'm like, in real life, hey, I'm going to be late. Is that okay? Oh, that's so great, because I'm running late. So we're good. And I'm like, people are standing in real life. Professors say that. I'm like, no, real life is easy because everyone, so you're able to connect. But undergrad, it's like, I don't care. You do this date. Like, you know, I'm actually working on my doctorate right now. One of the hardest aspects of that is there's no due dates on anything. And so I was joking around with the advisor. I'm like, I really need you to yell at me because nothing's going to happen unless you like yell and give me a due date. But you work with bacteria?
Yeah, sometimes. One thing in fall, we have classes that are microbiology, and I don't have anybody that has the and that I really feel like I got prep work for this class. That freed me a week to do other things that need to be done. And now I like it
because she works hospital here, bone marrow transplant quality analyst, just transferred, and she worked how she thought Giardia, it was her favorite head butt. Yeah, sure, super cute.
Giant microbes. They're like little stuff.
No, but it sounds scary. Like I'm terrified now.
Like I ever got was Giardia. So that was really? It just happened. No.
I got a MRSA office.
With the cape. I have that one. World here now. Sorry, we just crossed the line of Nerdville.
But I think that it connects. Get other teachers at our school. That's what I look for. Like, are you excited about what so you can pass it on to someone else? Like, a lot of times, like teachers coming out of school, how to teach, and I'm like, hey, can you cover a math class for me? Like, that same. Good thing I'm not mentioning names. Came into my class one time talking about how much she hated math and how glad to take my class. And I'm like, I got kids here who are saying that. Like, you're not helping me out. Like, so having that passion, whatever the site look for, like when I'm looking for a teacher, because passion is transferable. The actual concepts and knowledge, we're gonna forget that. That's what college is for them, that thing. But the passion will be there. Professor was so excited about Giardia, little stuff thing, and moments like that too help students. So what's information? So when we're happy, we can learn. So I tell students to think of their happiest moment before tests, to do a little dance. We start off with dancing because it just makes people, when you so education's weird. We want you to memorize it, then we're going to give you a test to freak you out on your brain, except for your limbic system. Now perform well without your brain. And like it's a system. And so let's focus on being happy when you learn. You're good. So those little things, like thinking of the Giardia, you're going to have a student that's taking a test sometime going like, I don't know. Wait, there was a doll and it looked like this. And okay, now it's all coming back. And I using puppets, like I'll use puppets. Like for no reason. My wife will join in. I have a puppet of me. Like,
I love that.
yeah, I had a Muppet made of me. She does a better job of imitating I do. So she'll bring the puppet into class and just be like, oh, okay, now it's time to take this test. And I'm like, really, I don't do that. And all the students are like, yeah.
Well,
So
yeah,
one of the questions when I do give a test is like, tell me something I say. And like to pick up on what they hear. There was one time in the semester I asked them, like, what have you learned from this? And it was like, I've learned. And about half the class always wins. Because we were getting a whole like Excel sheet of gambling, and I'm like, that's a good lesson to learn in life.
Actually,
At least they learned something useful. They're like, yeah, we don't want to gamble anymore. The house is going to win. All right, but we learned that through the application ability, they learned the house will always win, and that's just a hit. And hopefully, when they're in college, it'll be, oh yeah, the law of large numbers, that thing. House always wins.
I love it. All this talk of education, Dio, I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are too, because I know you're in the middle of getting back up. You are, I think, of starting that master's degree. So you've been through the undergrad, and you're looking into furthering your education. So I guess thoughts are with hearing all these things too.
Yeah, I like the fact that you made mention of English, any job that you desire. In fact, I even taught some people programming languages like JavaScript, PHP, and for them to be able to build websites and end their make their ends meet. So being this word entirely, because it's like allows for you to combine different elements. You're trying to study, work, you're trying to learn a skill area. There's no probability that you are even going to get a job, even with that skill. Even with that skill, there's no way that you're going to get a job, even with that skill. So, university has just made me as multitasking is very important in our society today, and that you do things as long as you put your mind towards completing some. It's just about your mindset. If you want to complete this task, you will. And if you feel like, oh, I'm this kind of person that likes doing one thing, it's a good thing. We are all different people. Do what you love, as long as that's what really matters.
That's what's on my business card. Literally, that love you love. That is on. So yes. You gotta love miserable.
That's what you were saying. You said what it looks for. Like Derek was saying, those people that are passionate about what they're teaching, because it becomes much easier for them to pass the knowledge to the kid that they're teaching. So yeah, it's very important.
They'll feel it. You will.
Yeah. Just like technology, for instance, now I work with Fast Five in this, and they've not paid me. I've been with them for a year. I built their website. I helped them. In fact, if they had paid me, I wouldn't be in this kind of situation for people to help me get funded. And it's very, considering the fact that I have so much, I should be able to afford that. But then, like I said, life is not about where you are; it's about where you're going to. So you just have to. That's what I feel.
Awesome. I know we've been talking a lot of education kind of topics, and I know Mark, you just joined us, and so Mark, I'm going to bring you in real quick. Speaking of education things, we do the 12 o'clock shakedown day. I know some of you have been there, and one of the things Mark brings every day, I absolutely does. He has, you see his background. That was his background from today. That was all the things that are, if you go out and look around, there's whatever national celebration day. Well, he's got his whole with what we're celebrating today. So, but those, and then we're doing 15 minutes of music in motion with the shakedown. By the way, total plug for that. We do the shake every day, like 365 days a year. It is 15 minutes of music in motion. At all. It's fun. It's silly. It's a way to get you up and moving when screen. Well, when you get up, maybe I'm showing my age a little bit, but when I'm a little stiff and I'm going, oh my gosh, I've been sitting a couple hours. That's kind of what this is helping with, is get moving. It's good. So part of the fun at the end of the 15 minutes of music, Mark shares things that's going on. So you want to tell us, come on in and say hi, and just on shakedown and all the fun things, and if you want to share what some of those are behind you, feel free. Over to you, Mark.
Just as said, it's a nice break in the day. Anyway, if you've been doing a lot of desk work, it's up just for 15 minutes. Kind of perks you up a bit, I believe. And yeah, people add a few things afterwards. Well, this round thing just got started because once in a while, songs, I list an album cover from my iTunes, and people like it. Guess who the was, or what the album was. Then I ran out of iTunes albums, so I went to Musicians Days. And, well, needed something else to fill up. I decided to pick out some of the national days. There seems to be a holiday for everything.
Everything.
Actually, most days there's a couple of really, and a couple of well, usually food items, and then you get a few weird, like include those too.
Yeah, the other day actually, or it was a week screen because it was Sunday day. So I told you that, but we actually did go. We went and bought some ice cream and some toppings, and we had Sundays then. So I thank you. Yeah, I loved it. So there's all sorts of fun that comes with it, and I personally do appreciate because that takes time. You put that together every day. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And joining us here as well, I want to have her come on in and hello, who you are, all of the wonderful things. Got a great crew of people here today, so good.
Hola, San Carlos, Mexico. I'm Marianne Ambrose. 900 poem man as puppets. My books are written for animation movies with and soundtrack by Hawaiian artist Lucy and the Perfect Way. Kindness, our third book in development, featuring Greta Gobble on the course. It's an app game. We're going to be there for the week of Thanksgiving, and just wanted to check in with everybody. The app games are free. You can visit the website, actsofkindnessseries.com. Just enjoying the afternoon here in San Carlos with, well, hurricanes were coming, power outages, but we're sitting at a beautiful restaurant, resort, and watching some sailboats. We've got returning visitors here, a lot of repeat people that have lived down here. I'm from Hawaii, and my captain is working on the sailboat in the yard. Another friend returned. They're all working on their boats, so we can enjoy down here. But we on Leah McLaughlin from Clean Water Foundation is out countries, especially in Sedona, Arizona, and we're going to be partnering, talking with some big players next for the Acts of Kindness series to bring the books into some stores that they're creating, and as well as we're going to be applying for grant funding to bring these movies. So we're ending the year here, but we're thankful for the outline courses of each chapter into whale watching season. So Underwater Acts of Kindness will be featured next month with Ocean Cleanup Organization with Gordon Slat, and Algelita organization with Captain Moore, who was featured. Has posted my books slowly but surely. We're getting these books of ocean cleanup, anti-bullying, and we're working on language characters and a beautiful soundtrack by Lucy and the Perfect Way out there to the world. And I met with Trevor Gibbs, who's in Brazil, Argentina, who is going through the heat wave now. He helped me upload 4 videos onto YouTube, the Acts of Kindness now, so you can see the signing characters such as Greta Gobble on the golf course to learn the finger spelling number. Chelsea the Courageous Sign Language Chicken, and who does the 26 letters of the finger spelling ASL alphabet. Dr. Fingers, the finger spelling hermit crab, and Eve, the finger spelling bumblebee. San Carlos, Mexico. I acquired challenge again. Lost some of my hair down here to help, basically earwax, but it could be challenging because I had to tell my neighbor. I said, when we talk, we have to talk face to face because I can't hear a word you're saying, and other people too on the phone calling me, and it's a challenge to kind of go back so I can understand it about hearing loss. And we have 500 million people worldwide with and millions of moms and dads coming home from being of service who can't hear their own children or grandchildren. Veterans Day last week. And again, I want to kind of hear, we got a birthday boy here who just turned 81 years old. Here, and there's a home going on. It's exciting. I'll turn off the background here, and so you can kind of see San Carlos, Mexico here. But again, we want to thank you, World of Ability, the assistant, and all the guests that were on here, and to again share the series. You can visit games, and oh, by the way, classroom teachers in the United States of America can receive copies of the books from an organization called Donors Choose, donorschoose.org. I had a classroom teacher in Hawaii request 50 books of underwater acts of kindness for ocean cleanup. She got funded 2 weeks. We did a book signing, we had a slideshow presentation of characters, and every one of us can do to help clean up the oceans here. So it's great you guys here. So we're sharing we all met on Happy Neighborhood Projects. I was the co-host, and I was also the HMP sign language interpreter for ability. So we're up here. We remember here. So we got good news from Leon, from some investors for bringing the goods around next year. And just updating the projects with KDP and Trevor Gibbs with American Disabilities Act to make sure your websites are ADA. And yeah, so happy giving. Check out Greta Gobble. Slide it over here so you can kind of in motion. We got a birthday boy. He's got a virtual assistant with a drone down here, and we're watching the Pelican. Signing off from San Carlos. You can see some of this here. It's beautiful.
Warm. It's like 30. He's chilly. That looks amazing. I will live vicariously for you, okay?
And yeah, so music here. See the bird boy there? He just turned.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tell him to say happy birthday from the World of Ability.
And called Feliz Cumpleaños. It's happy birthday. Happy birthday in Spanish here. Let me just show you here the Vista Tedakawi here. Yeah, it's got sailor friends that are putting their boats in there. And I look forward to sailing with the orcas. That's my goal this year. So I don't know if you can kind of see, that's the mountain there. It's the Vista Tedakawi from my place. So yeah, it's really good, and they have a really good medical community. Had an enrollment, and that's what I'm getting here. That citizens are taken care of. They're building a brand new Canadian military, etc. So, it's a beautiful spot. So yes, and breezy. We're gonna get some sunshine, feel that salt water air, put our feet in the wee talks, listen to ocean, and really thank you so much again. We're talking to you. Happy Thanksgiving Day. So here is for our sign language. Happy is from the heart. Output from here, happy, and here is gobble. And what I used to do in Honolulu every year down at the Blaisdell, the Hilton Hotel sponsored meals with the dinner, and they had a table for the deaf from the television, being an announcer. They had hula dancers. I was down there with Chelsea, the courageous sign language chicken, shaking hands with everybody. They miss those entertainment days, but again, we want to bring them to real information and find that funding. And wishing a happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Aloha, hola, Seattle, Mexico.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marianne. We love having this, and I enjoy that and soak some up for me, okay? Awesome. And now I know how to say, I gotta make sure I got that right. And then Thanksgiving. So much fun to get all those updates and to learn as you're talking education. I actually had as one of the student workers that I've worked with just here, he made the comment that he wished that our university had a way to actually have signage be that everybody needs to have some kind of a, and we don't have signage at where we are there. He was trying to figure out a way to take a course where he could utilize that as his foreign language component, and it wasn't happening. And it's like, wait a second, hey, that's really practical, good one. What I don't know where he felt that with me, because it's like, why can't this work? This has. So
I know at the University of Arizona, the language is considered a foreign language, so you can take that, or I should say ASL. There's tons of sign languages.
High school, you can take a course, and a lot of high schools were recommending it as a foreign language for credits to graduate from high schools. ASL is pretty much one language. It's the same signs in different countries. Have different signs for things, but it's a built-up language. And yes, certain universities have dedicated to audiology. Communication disorders was, and that's where we focused on and worked. But yes, it should be available for everyone. So just wanted to kind of give you an update. And things have changed. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's been over some plus years or whatever, and President of the American Disabilities Act. But yeah, we want to make sure, and I'm really excited to. I looked into Dome Audio, which is creating headsets for the hard of hearing deaf through bone conduction. And around his YouTube gave us information, more insight about it. They have videos of the students at Gallaudet University putting on these headsets, just like your Bose headsets, but it's kind of geared around your ear from bone conduction, and watching their eyes light up when they could hear sounds such as the beating of the drum in a marching band, or speech threshold, where there's a female talking about how both of the sounds were from bilateral hearing loss. She could hear the same for both sides of her ear. So it's technology that's coming out, and I'm really excited to learn more with Steve Ramona. So
around us. Sometimes it is just that of take a look around, see what's out, that the puppets exist, that we're able to take advantage. It helps make it exciting. That's kind of about before, about how you can, when you are learning things, if it can be fun, if it's fun, it gets done. That's the kind of thing that you learn better. I know actually that was a comment that came up earlier too. I like listening to YouTube stuff in the background and like driving or whatever. Just to, I often have said YouTube University, things that I can learn as I'm going. And there was somebody who was talking about when you're taking an exam, everything is all stressed. Take that moment and your favorite song in your head, get up and dance for a moment and get your head into that, and then take your test, because that will make all the difference. Have all that stress in front of you, actually be where you need to be. So all the things that you studied it, you know it, it's in there somewhere. You gotta pull it back out, right? And
one of the other things that I'll have students do is, they're busy at the beginning of class, so to get their attention, I do the clap once. If you could hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, then moo. I'm ready to take a test, because it's that moment of silliness. I also use that to let them know, like, this mood in front of everyone. So don't ask for help or to introduce yourself. Like, you mood in front of them. Like, there's no embarrassment now. We've all moved together.
I love that. I might feel that.
We'll see.
If the university I went to stand up or try to dance, you'll be kicked out of the
Choose wisely. Maybe you have to do it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Makes a
Exactly.
difference.
Everything is tough here. They make everything tough.
Oh. So working on your stamina to handle all of that all on your own, that too.
If you see their faces, they're always boning. They're always looking at you like, oh, you did all these days. Now you're coming. You want to come and cheat, right? You so be done to you. That's the idea.
Yeah. There's also remote and to learn all. There are so many ways, and there is. You've all seen the super strict to the differently for different people. Some people will thrive in one or the other. The world, right? We all have different abilities. You got to figure out what works for you. That's part of that learning process. All learn things differently. I tend to be more visual. That's what this seeing you. If it was all audible, I would be squirrel. This helps me focus. We all have our different ways that we can interact best and learn best and be our best. And part of the learning process, I think, is figuring out ourselves. How do I best? How can I be the best? Why do people talk about that in school? I don't remember that coming up all that often. I'm sure
they talk about it, but they don't implement it. So there's this big feelings, and let's connect. Like you were talking earlier, like you have that student about what's going on at home, shops, and they're expensive back, and it's okay. We implement this training. I got to worry about it. Just do what we've always done, but you keep talking about all this stuff we're supposed to do, and then you say go back to the old way. Just stand in front of the class and lecture. Don't do it. So for like my math classes, I tell the students it's 30 minutes math. So actually it's 10 minutes meditation. And I don't care what that meditation is. You can put your head down and take a nap. 10 minutes, put the phone away. And I have a student who would, when I was at another high school, we're not doing anything. Like an hour of math is too much, going to absorb it. But what I would also do is, and they would have permission to do whatever they wanted to do, put on like National Geographic, and they would actually watch instead of talking to each other. Where can we, like, they were so used to like their neighborhood. A lot of them haven't. So it was like the song, which is heavily Hispanic, very insular. And they're like, what is that? Why are they doing that? And I'm like, oh, I've been to Iceland. They're like, no way. Like, there's another world out there. And so just introducing him to that of like, there's somewhere else you can go. You can go to Africa. You can go, like, also the same time, like, I'm guilty of, like, so I always joke around. I have a public school education, so I know nothing about Africa. Because in public school, it's like the country of Africa. I'm like, I don't think it's a country. I don't think, I'm pretty sure it's not. But then they kind of just skip over. So like the entire, I have a friend who's from some country in the Eastern Europe. I'm like, you have to understand. It's Germany, France, Italy, England, a whole, and Russia.
Oh, jeez.
Of that area at all.
Yeah.
It just we're gonna cover, but you'd think at some point between first grade there would have been a time to hit those areas, because I gotta say I didn't really don't know that we did. If we did, it was so minimal that it doesn't.
Like looking, so I'll send them like just next week. There's I'm essentially sending them the videos that I watch so they can learn. But there's a YouTube video they're watching for next week on like a guy on a team that's going from South Africa to Cairo, and on the way he's different places and he's talking to people. It's actually interesting when I pause. A lot of the older equipment that's Chinese. Well, the Chinese are actually coming back and reinvesting, and they're actually talking to Chinese students to see their point of view. So it's like 4 Chinese students. One's like, oh, it's just about money. And the other one's like, no, it's about an opportunity. Like we're talking to people in IT about doing this stuff, and then it's also interesting that a professor of mine brought up just kind of the same thing. Oh, it's sad, and I got this. Like it's sad that they don't realize the economic picture of everything. Interviewing a woman who had to be able to ride the train, and she's like, economic impacts. I'm like, you realize that sometimes people just need to ride somewhere. Like that's a big. So just seeing those, but introducing them to students too, so that they can think about that, because we talk so much about, we wish our emphasize cognitive and then memorize this test. Let's introduce a video. Let's talk about the perspective, your perspective. Why? So my students are allowed to say whatever they want. So sometimes they'll get snarky and they'll say something that they shouldn't, but then they'll provide the what. I'm like, all right. So we even have a contest at the end of the semester, jokingly. It's, Mr. E is a horrible teacher because. And like, because he gave us a test on May 14th. I'm like, okay, that's a what? And then, but then they're like, no, we like him. But just giving that opportunity, it also allows them to criticize, like, know that it's allowed to critique the system. Which we don't teach at school. We love the system. Yeah. And I heard we shouldn't think about outside the box. Because he said, from his point of view, he says, we spend so much time in education creating the box, fit in this box. And then we say, think out. Well, he was talking about, like, how about if we box to begin with? What allows students to see all kinds of parts of the world? See, like when we start saying you shouldn't do this, I'm like, well, we kind of do the same thing that as well. So they just get the full picture of what's going on. Like, and that's the big thing that, like, with the whole relationship, that's what China always writes. And they're like, how are people doing? And it's like, don't stop talking about that.
Really rough to look at.
Yeah, so it's just allowing students to go down that path of like their own opinion and to but to develop it, the why, like why do you think this? Why, and when we have conflict between students, it's like, okay, why we don't try to minimize it? Like, why do you hate little Johnny? Well, I don't. He bugged me that one day. All right, so you don't need to hate him, right? Like you just got mad at him. All right. So, now we can have a conversation. Relate that to someone else though, because I'm an accountant. I don't do relationships.
Relationships. Oh my gosh. There's so much based on that. You know, that is one thing though I do wish was taught a little bit more about the topic.
Yeah.
Personality styles, relationships, all those things that learn that didn't come up. I mean, there was like what do you call it? Testing where it's like what job might you be good at? That type of testing. I remember that happening in high school, or someone talking about, you know, how to relate to others, how to understand personality styles, and to be able to recognize strengths in each other. And it's like, and it's not necessarily some weaknesses. It's we all have our weakness, but it depends on flavor you want to put it towards it.
Well, I don't even give it as a weakness. I just think there's a lack, even in adulthood, of what are people's strengths. So like associate counting lovely little robot. Because he's the stereotypical accountant. Like I just want to look at my computer and that's his. I'm like, you go do that because I don't want to. I want to network. I want to think of the high level stuff he hates. Like I want the weird stuff that has to be dug into. So you do the stuff that I don't want to do because you love it, and I'll do the stuff that I want to do and that you hate doing, and you know it's fine and it's okay. Either way, there's no right. Like let's just go with our strengths, and occasionally let's step out of it. So when I bring on a new client, I do all the data entry so I can get to know the account. And occasionally I will take him to a networking event and he grumbles, but I buy him a cheeseburger. He's like, all right, this is fine. I'll hang out with the cheeseburger. So we can, you know, little bit of discomfort for both of us to be able to expand what we know and what we're able to do.
That's a great working relationship. That's fantastic. Learning teamwork is. I know group projects is hard when you're in school, and group projects that's a whole. But you know what? From doing it, you learn how to work with others. It's because it's not. Because there's always somebody who's not pulling their weight. There's always some, you know, there's that's going to dominate somebody. But you know, you learn a lot more than just the. A lot of other skills too. Hopefully,
we'll do in a group project and it being like I just did a pen. So I just told the group, congratulations, you just got an A. And they're like, why? All the work.
That's awesome.
So
well, and I know we are coming up at the top. I just want to give everybody a chance to, if you would like, I can go around my screen, whatever's easiest. Whatever happens to be on top of mind at this point in the game here, because I know we've been chatting for a while, and I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation and appreciate each and every one of you being here. So, and I just, something brief here, if you guys wanted to think of whatever's on the top of your mind, go around. Can I pick on you first? Because you're my first guy on my screen.
People that like people that didn't like it, looking at the condition of their farms, and well, some of them even, hung in the tavern all day or a lot. They just didn't like their job, but they didn't have a lot of choice. So anyway, I appreciate all the opportunities that are out.
Awesome point. I love that. Thank you so much, Mark. And Emily, you are next to my screen. What thoughts do you have?
Well, first of all, I wanted to thank Deo, Derek, Mark, Marianne for coming on today. I thought it was so that's kind of what I was thinking at the moment.
All right. Well, and Deo, you are next. If you would like to, I know you put some is perfect. So, but what's on your mind?
To be done, I want to thank Court. I want to thank Court, Sue with Emily, for helping me get my idea out. Because basically, so the project management, MSc in project management, and this month, on the 4th of next month, I discussed with Court that was like, oh man, a whole lot of people maybe contribute for you, things like that. So, but now I've been here for hours now, and that education, and the rest of them. So, I need help. I'm very glad I'm here today. So thank you.
Glad you're here, and I do hope this helps get the word out, and that we'll be able to reach people that can side of things, because that is a huge barrier, and a lot of students face that, and it's a big one. It's hard to help out with that. Check chat. There's information to be able to do that is there. So I'm very hopeful that you'll be able to get what you need in order to make your dreams happen here. So I'm grateful you're here. You're always welcome here. So we're here every week, and thank you so much. So, and Derek, I'm gonna pass the baton to you.
I think good luck with yeah, education is very important, and I think we need a lot more people like you that have the big heart to be in business and in project management to help guide like where a lot of business is going. But I think my big takeaway and the largest life lesson I learned today: if Emily tells you to do something, do it immediately.
Oh, jeez. Thank you, Derek.
Oh, you're so much fun. I'm so glad that you did follow what she said, and you had such a nice conversation. I really enjoyed this. So, Marianne, I'm not sure, because I know you are doing a lot of stuff on site right now, so I'm just going to ask it in, but I'm not sure that's going to work for to say. But I know good time too, so I do want to open the door and see if you want to have a moment to share anything before we are done for the day. Oh, I see you coming on in. There you go. So if you want to share a few things, and when you're done, I'll take the last moment, if that's okay.
Have been for November the Sesame Street permits. So today 12 because it's 12 days until
Hi. No. Yeah. And if you run for if negative to tokens or if you want to step over to that's the only one that going to a grocery store. Yeah. I don't know if it's a huge rush there, I think it, but it'd be the only thing. I don't it would be, I don't know if it's very much, but anyway, so. Yeah. Maybe if I didn't take it going, so. Alright.
You know what? Just do it. Take that leap, whatever it might be. Help somebody out. Help yourself out. Do the things that you need to make, whether you're talking your own round. Truly, thank you so much, all of you. This has been such a fun day. So I thank you guys so much for making this a smooth sailing afternoon and so much fun. I appreciate you guys more than you know. So for World Ability, again, my name is Sue Ross, and I really do thank you.
Thank you for all that you do also.
Awesome. You guys are the best. So we